So welcome to this review of the Samsung Fino 115S. It has a panorama function and a lot of other functions. I will first explain everything about the camera and then I will show you some example pictures. There is, for all the Google users, a timestamp down below in this video. You can't do that on iPad, so I don't know if you can do it on iPhone, but there are timestamps underneath. I will also link them in the description. So if you're just watching for one thing, then you can always view that just by that. So first of all, I tried this out, the Fino 115S, together with the Canon Prima Super 115N. They're both kind of the same. They both have a 38 to 115 millimeter lens. I don't know what the diaphragm is on this lens because it's not standing on this one. It opens up itself when you open it. So the lens is always covered by this lens cover, which is really nice, so you don't need to worry about that. It takes batteries, of course, else it wouldn't work. But it's not that expensive. It's just a 123 a 3 volts battery. It's easy to find if you're from Belgium or from Netherlands. It's in the HEMA. If you're from America, you can buy it on Amazon for not really expensive. So when you put the battery inside, it's with the top upwards, so the bottom plate is down. Then it makes some noise. On the bottom itself is there also a rewind button to rewind the film. You can do it with a pen, but there is no need to push it because when you normally use it, it goes by itself once it ends the film. So that's really easy. On the top there is a lot of things that we will discuss later. On the front there's a lens that opens up in itself. There's a flash that opens up itself once you open it. Once you close it, the flash will go down as well. So if you buy one and the lens and the flash doesn't go up, it means that the flash will never go up and it's broken. So watch out for that. There's a viewfinder, there's a zoom viewfinder, there's a light to measure something if it's far away and it can't focus on that. And it also has a lens that reaches out far or very close when you are taking subjects. There's also a landscape button on the side of the lens. It makes pictures look like you are not focusing on the window itself, so it's not focusing on the window when you're taking pictures through a window, but on the landscape behind it, so it takes something further than the closest things nearby. When you close it a little bit, you will see that it closes itself and then you can close it easily. On the back we have a open slider on the bottom, on the side I mean. There's also a window so you can see which film is inside, which is really handy. Then there is a DxO code mark reader, which you can find on the film on this side. This is the DX code. You put it inside like this. It's very easy. You just put the first up and then you roll it up and then you close it. I will not close it now because I will not take pictures with this film anymore. There is a lens, as you can see. This one is flexible, so if it doesn't push down, it's broken. There are two lights. There is a green one and a red one. So when you close it, it makes sounds. It just to wind the film a bit further, so it's not overexposed the film, so it's closed, so it's nice. There are two lights here, as you maybe can see. Yes, there are two lights here. There is one that's green, one that's red. The red one means that there is a flash. The green one means that there is focus. If there is no focus, it will blink and then it's it. There is a dial here to compensate for your eyes. If you wear glasses or something, you can compensate it. There's a panorama mode, but I would not use it because the panorama mode is just cropping in, as you can see. and it's just a waste of film. If you want really panorama, then I would go for other cameras, or just crop in later when you have the picture, because then you also can choose between the two. There's a zoom button on the back, and there's also a thumb rest, as you can see. It's really handy to hold because the camera isn't the most handy one. There is a rubber also on the front. I forgot to tell you to open it. Very easy, and then you can hold it like this. It's very comfy to hold. So on the top we have a lot of information. So there's, first of all, there is now a 0. That means there is 0 pictures. There is a 3 times. I don't know for what stand that. There's also a lot of information on the top. There's a date stamp you can put on the thing, so you can push date. There is a snap focus. It's not really that is something that I use, so it doesn't focus, it just takes a picture. As you can see now, it focuses on something different while a snap is on. I would not do that. So there's also a thing here that says normal. You have a mode dial here which is normal, fuzzy, step. It makes it takes some time, and then it takes a picture, and then it takes another one. There's interval, so it takes more, a couple of pictures. So there's 3 times. And it closes itself, I don't know why. So you have step, you have interval, you have bulb, so it takes a long shot. Then you have a portrait mode. When you have a portrait mode, then it will look for a face in the view itself, and it will start to zoom in or zoom out to make the picture in frame. Like I will show you now a photo I took in portrait mode. Then there's multiple pictures after each other, multiple exposure, that's on top of this, and then there's back to normal. Then you have flash, that is an auto. You have flash in the darkness, it means a different thing. You have fill-in flash, so to fill in light, so to make sure that everything is filled in and that there's nothing underexposed or overexposed. And then there's fill in for night. There's off and night mode. Then there's back to auto. You also have a red eye and a sun thing. So you have the sun. And there's also, now there's a red eye fill in. So it makes sure there's no red eye. There's an auto mode with sun inside, and there's nothing. And there's also a timer. It just goes on 2 seconds and back to 2 seconds. Or with a remote control, but I don't have one. If you have one for this camera, or you can buy one, you can use it. Or off. So the date stamp, you can fill in the date. I didn't do that because, yeah, I don't usually use it. If there's just lines, there's no date on it. If there's this one, there will be a date on it. If there's this one, that's all the different modes, you can put a date on your pictures. I wouldn't do that. I mean, it's not so interesting. And there's a shutter button which will show you what you're doing. Then on the back you can see that there are the lights shining and the flash is on. Then on the front I already explained, and the other side also. So what do I think about this camera? First of all, let me show you some pictures. I'm really happy with the pictures I took with this camera. So here are some pictures. So what I think about this camera, I think it's a very good camera. It's very small and compact. Definitely if you compare it to the Super 115N, which has a extending lens. And if you compare it to the Fuji Olympus, it's also still a very small camera, which is also really nice. This one is a bit bigger, but this one is a 38 to 115 lens. But I think the 38 lens is a bit too zoomed in for me, while this has a 35mm lens, which is way nicer. But if you're looking for a cheap zoom camera, this is perfect. It has a glass lens, works perfectly as a great compensating mode, has a lot of modes, works good, takes good pictures, sharp pictures, and so I would recommend it if you can buy this for about like 10 euros, 15 euros, $10, $15 maybe. I paid a little less, but it's a really nice camera. I would recommend it.